Mayday, United 28.
This frightening scene on board a United Airlines passenger flight has led to the grounding of some Boeing 777 aircraft around the globe. Large pieces of the plane's Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engine fell over the suburbs of Denver, Colorado shortly after takeoff. The plane landed safely and no one was hurt, but U.S. regulators quickly stepped in to investigate. And on Sunday, the Federal Aviation Administration issued an emergency directive calling for stepped-up inspections focusing on the engine's fan blades. United announced it would voluntarily and temporarily remove 24 of its 777s from use, saying safety was their highest priority. It has another 28 of the planes in storage.
Breaking news from Niger, where a presidential election has been disrupted by an explosion which has left at least 7 dead. It happened in the Tillaberi region. A vehicle carrying officials from the Electoral Commission hit a roadside bomb.
A brazen gun attack in the Libyan capital Tripoli was well planned, says the country's interior minister. Fatih Bashagha told Reuters that the gunmen were trying to kill him. He escaped the alleged assassination attempt on his motorcade on Sunday and explains what happened.
When we arrived in Janzur, a bulletproof car approached us, a Toyota, known as a Type 27 in Libya. It had an opening for gunfire. It started approaching the convoy and it started shooting. My guard, who was very well trained, tried to push the car away and protect the minister and move away from the convoy. The chase took place and they continued to fire at us.
One of his guards and one of the attackers were killed in the firefight. Bashagha says his guards arrested 2 people, one of whom was wanted by police.
Three people were killed, 2 more were injured in a shooting at a gun store in Louisiana on Saturday. The shooting happened at the Jefferson Gun Outlet in the suburb of New Orleans around 2:50 p.m. local time on Saturday. The suspected shooter reportedly got into an argument with a clerk at the store for entering the premises with a loaded gun that was unholstered. Initial reports suggest the suspect shot and killed 2 people inside the shooting range before being confronted and shot by other customers outside the shop. According to an official statement from the sheriff's office, the suspect is one of the 3 individuals killed in the shootout. Investigations of the fatal incident are currently underway.
ရဲတပ်ဖွဲ့က4 ခွနဲ့ပြစ်ခတ်တာတွေရှိနေပါတယ်။ဒီကနေ့ညနေ9 နာရီခွဲအထိဆန္ဒပြပြည်သူတွေနဲ့
Israel is trying to track down the ship responsible for an oil spill that's left clumps of tar up and down its Mediterranean coast, a mess that officials say will take months or years to clean up. Thousands of volunteers have turned out to help out with the disaster, and the military is deploying to assist. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also toured the area. Authorities are warning everyone else, though, to keep their distance. The event began last week during a winter storm, which made it harder to see the tar approaching and deal with it at sea, according to local officials. A fin whale was also found washed up on a beach with oil-based material in its body, although further tests are pending.
A truck carrying 20,000 doses of coronavirus vaccine arrives in southern Gaza from the United Arab Emirates. The donation kickstarts Gaza's vaccination campaign, which gets underway a few weeks after vaccination started in the West Bank. But it's also politically embarrassing for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas ahead of elections in May, as the transfer was secured by a rival now exiled in Abu Dhabi, Mohammed Dahlan. Gaza received its first shipments of vaccine last Wednesday after a previously planned transfer was blocked at an Israeli checkpoint. It now has enough jabs to inoculate 11,000 people, just a fraction of its population of 2 million.
China continues its crackdown on free speech. 3 people have been arrested, including bloggers and an investigative journalist. They have been detained by authorities in China for questioning the official Chinese version of events over the Galwan Valley clashes with Indian troops, which took place on June 15th last year. Now, these 3 question the Chinese narrative. China says the bloggers, quote-unquote, insulted the troops who died during the Galwan Valley clashes with India. Now, all these 3 suggested that the Chinese side suffered far higher number of casualties than what Beijing has admitted so far. Now, the move comes just a day after China acknowledged the casualties in Galwan for the very first time. On Friday, China announced military honors for 4 soldiers who lost their lives and a regimental commander who was injured in the June clashes.